Well, we all join the workforce with our own paradigms, right? We were raised in certain days. We were wet cement together, Xers or boomers or whatever. So Gen Z's wet cement days was the early part of the 21st century and the first couple of decades. So one of the myths that I wondered if it was a myth, but I kept hearing it over and over and over from managers was, well, they really don't want to work. They leave right at 5 as soon as they can get out of here. They're leaving the workplace. I don't think they want to work. I don't think they are loyal here. I don't think they even want to be here. So when I met with 13 focus groups, that was my qualitative research. And then I did quantitative research with surveys of over 2,000 of them. Here's what I found out. I found out that they do want to work, but they want to do work for something they care about and someone they care about. But that leave right at 5 thing, Will, oh my gosh, I had the most revealing conversation with a young lady. And I said, I hear your boss says you leave right at 5, you really don't want to work. And she smiled at me and said, Dr. Elmore, can I tell you why I leave right at 5? I said, sure. She goes, because right at 5, I got to zip over to another job. I don't make enough money to pay the bills with this first one. And after that second job, I rush over to take care of my mother who has stage 4 cancer. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I stereotyped. It was a myth. She's working harder than maybe her boss is. I don't know. So again, my empathy grew, Will. My empathy grew as I met with these Gen Zers, and I began to realize all conduct has a reason. And they're not just lazy bums that don't want to work. Some are, but some were in my generation too. But I'm thinking we need to believe the best. We need to begin with belief, not suspicion, and get to know them. And if we do, we'll probably find out those things like I just mentioned and realize, oh my gosh, that was a myth I bought into because I heard one story about that guy over there that was 21 years old and, blah, 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 blah.